every week, nigga, from our population.
Literally a battle royale. Literally called out. This is at the funeral, by the way.
You're a victim.
This is at the leader's funeral that just passed away. They just put him in the ground.
His body not even cold yet.
We got a new one. We got another one from my boy CJ, the champ, the Trial of Thragg. Been waiting for a while for this, and it's so unfortunate that I'm late. My microphone went out on me, so your boy been stressed out.
You're a victim.
Nasty work anyways, but look, I'm here, right? I'm here and I'm ready to get to recording. So I'm gonna need y'all to lock in with the likes, the hype button, the subs, the comments, all that stuff, because I'm finna get to posting on both channels too. Right? More Foolish and Foolish TV, link is in the description. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. Let's get into it. Let's go.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, y'all already know what time it is. Court is now in session because it's time for a trial. And it is for none other than the crispiest Viltrumite in the galaxy.
Yes, sir.
VILTRUMS final boss, Grand Regent Thragg.
Come on.
So, y'all already know how this works. We got the evidence and it is ready to be presented. And my God, I gotta say,
I'm just so mad that I wasn't able to record this when this dropped. Oh my God.
this is some of the most damning evidence a character has ever had. So, without further ado, Exhibit A.
Ooh. It's finna be fun.
All right, let's get down to business. Exhibit A, Thragg's rise to power and his multiple atrocities. Now, we actually got a glimpse of Thragg's backstory right here. And just from this backstory alone, you could already tell that Thragg was a crazy ass nigga, because this man is responsible for multiple horrible atrocities. So let's start off with example one. This one planet was trying to start a rebellion because they were fed up with the Viltrumites' rule. So they decided to blow some shit up and retaliate. So the Viltrumite higher-ups, or Argall's council, whatever the hell you want to call them, had a meeting to discuss of what they should do about this rebellion. Now, Krieg and Thetis were basically arguing the whole time, because Krieg straight up proposed that they should just decimate the whole planet to show the strength of the Viltrum Empire and strike fear into the species that was trying to rebel. But Thetis, on the other hand, proposed that they shouldn't decimate their planet because the Viltrumite rule over this species was cruel and inhumane. And he thought that since this species showed some type of pushback against their oppressors, that it was an act of strength and Viltrum should respect it because their main core value was strength. Now, while they kept yapping, Argall decided to shut both of them up. Then he asked Thragg, "Young nigga Thragg, my crispy apprentice, what do you think we should do about this minor inconvenience?" And Thragg straight up said that these creatures were so weak that their weakness was an offense to the natural order of the universe.
Jesus.
And we should educate them on why they're so ass.
Y'all probably don't even know who this is, huh? Y'all probably don't even know who this is. You had money like this in middle school.
Fuck the whole thing.
This is crazy.
And after hearing Thrag's rant, Argall was like, "Now that is why you are my right-hand man. Tax them niggas 25% of their population."
Jesus.
This man Thragg is responsible for this race losing 25% of
He
their—
made the boss call. He wasn't even the boss yet. They heard them saxophone. He made the boss call right off rip without being a boss. Come on.
population. A quarter of these niggas was wiped off the map because Thragg thought they was weak as hell.
Jesus.
Now, let's move into example 2. His first day as Emperor. Now, after Argall got assassinated and took a big-ass shank to the skull
Jesus.
from Optimus Prime, they had a massive funeral for this man, and it was broadcasted across the entire planet.
Oh, don't tell me when he killed the black guy.
So after Thragg was
sick.
done giving the eulogy, he does what is quite possibly one of the craziest things a leader could ever do.
Not my
He
dog.
said that there is a sickness in our society and it needs to be cut out. So he points at this melanated brother behind him
man.
and asks
wrong?
him, "You, do I look fresh today?"
I like it, cut G.
I don't believe you.
I don't believe you.
No. God damn it. You ain't have to do him like that. Come on. That was my uncle them.
You're a victim.
You can't do him like that, Thragg. God damn it.
He decapitated this brother for no reason at all. He chopped his head clean off to make an example out of him. So after he just murdered this dude in front of everyone, this man gets on the mic and says, "As my first command as Grand Regent, I, Thragg, hereby officially announce the first ever Viltrum Culling Games.
Crazy.
Seek out every single sorry ass nigga in our population and eradicate them. Purge every weak nigga from our population."
Literally a battle royale. Literally called out. This is at the funeral, by the way.
You're a victim.
This is at the leader's funeral that just passed away. They just put him in the ground.
His body not even cold yet.
And he called a battle royale at the end of the funeral.
After Thragg gave this speech, all hell just broke loose across the entire planet, and the Great Purge began. Viltrumites just started killing each other off one by one, so they could weed out every person they considered weak. And it wasn't just the adults doing it too. It was the kids as well. Look at them jumping this little nigga. Bro got jumped by 3 other kids that got stomped out to death. This was just straight up horrific. And I'ma keep it a beam. This had to be one of the worst ways to ever find out who was weak or not. Because what this was a battle royale.
Come on.
Anything could happen. You could literally get cheap kills off of niggas for third-partying another 1v1.
Shit, he did the Bane backbreaker. Oh my God.
10 times better than you. Where you could literally wait until their 1v1 was over and they were at half HP. And just come behind them and sneak their ass. Like, this shit is stupid. And God forbid a nigga ran into a motherfucker like Conquest. Because that was just instant death. It didn't matter how strong you were if you ran into that nigga. That is
the Diddy baby oil is nasty.
just straight up bad RNG. And at the end of this purge that Thragg started, it led to half of their population getting wiped out. Billions of Viltrumites died because of this purge. And those billions of bodies are on Thragg's head, because he literally commanded them to do this. And now we're at our third major atrocity. And that was his invasion on Telescria. This nigga pulled up in a big ass Star Destroyer and started burning this city to the ground and destroying everything. Millions of innocent people were getting boomed and vaporized, while this man was just sitting in his ship and looking down on all this death and destruction. And there is a high probability that this man would have probably just scorched the whole planet if Mark and friends didn't destroy his ship and make him tweak out about losing Argol's skull. But I think that we can all agree after looking at these 3 atrocities that this man Thragg is just a straight up space tyrant, because there is nothing more that this nigga loved to do than conquer civilizations and spread bloodshed wherever he went.
That's true. Look, it was a lot of talk on the internet when this dropped, when he was pulling up on Mark and them, blowing up the city and killing the town folk.
You're a victim.
Right? It was a lot of talk that he was a
Fraud.
Lord, give him time to cook. Maybe, he wasn't ready for the, the final bouts. You ain't give him a chance,
Lord Jesus.
Say, look, they know now. They know now. Oh, shit, he racking up.
Exhibit B.
Hell of a case.
All right. Exhibit B. Putting the fraud allegations to rest.
Come on.
Man, oh man. The amount of people
They was hating on my boy. I knew I never gave up on you.
You're a victim.
Thragg, I never gave up on. I knew you was that guy. Something told me he gotta be that guy. There's no way.
Hey!
Big ride.
Hey!
calling Thragg a fraud before episode 7 was just flat out insane. Like, we're now in a era where if a new character ain't doing some shit like ore farming or putting belt to ass to niggas in the first 5 minutes of their screen time, they're putting them on fraud watch.
Hating, like, give it time. Let it cook up a little bit. Let the story get a little juicy.
People were actually calling him a fraud before he even threw his first punch. If you were a part of the crowd that was calling Thragg a fraud before all this happened, all is forgiven. As long as you sign this document and turn it in by the end of the trial. Now, everyone should have known Thragg was all about that action the moment the coalition pulled up to Viltrum. Because they pulled up searching for this man just for him to meet them at the front door. Bro said, you ain't even gotta search for me, gang. I'm right here and I'm ready to throw down. So Thula comes from behind and sneaks Status in the back. And all the other Viltrumites minds end up surrounding them, because Thragg set up an ambush because he knew they were going to try to track him down and kill him on Viltrum. So he sicks his minions to start jumping the coalition, while he just straight up sat back and watched them fight the whole time. This dude didn't even bother to move from the spot he was in till Space Racer shot his Infinity Ray at him. And all he did was move back a couple of inches.
So tough. That beam can literally blow up planets.
Lord Jesus.
He just moved a little bit, didn't look at it.
You're a victim.
It can literally blow his body into smithereens.
Lord Jesus.
He didn't even look at it, he just moved back.
This man didn't give a flying about a laser that would one-shot him. He just straight up had the confidence to know that that shit wasn't hitting him. So the first person to actually try to fight him was Omni-Man. So Nolan flew in and tried to hit him, but all Thragg did was move back a couple of inches again and make Nolan hit straight in.
Not enough.
Then Thragg flew above him and winded up a punch from the heavens. And if you take a look at Nolan's face right here, you can tell that he is clearly thinking,
damn, he really about to rock my shit.
He gonna feel that for a month.
Thragg punched this nigga Nolan so hard he turned into a living, breathing meat and made him crash all the way down on the surface of Viltrum. So after Thragg hit Nolan with a stage change, Thragg came down and tried to hit Nolan with some good old talk no jutsu. He was telling him, Nolan, big dog, come home. Why?
And you know what's crazy? I thought he was gonna be way more ruthless than this. He was trying to talk Nolan into coming back to the Viltrum Empire.
Lord Jesus.
Like he was showing a little bit, I want to say compassion, but a little bit of understanding, a little bit.
Are you fighting for these sorry ass, weak ass niggas? Thetis' sorry ass killed our emperor and brought us to damn near extinction, and you wanna align with that Autobots rollout sounding ass nigga? But Nolan tried to tell Thragg that he was a changed man now, and he was done sipping from that Viltrum Kool-Aid to be a brainwashed space tyrant. So after Nolan tried to get Thragg to stop and surrender, Thragg looked at Nolan dead in the face and said, oh, Nolan, how far you fallen. Damn. Like that Earth Coochie really made you a soft ass nigga. So Thragg winds up a punch that was so strong it created
bending the atmosphere. This nigga's the Avatar airbender with one punch.
Lord Jesus.
Look at Nolan's face.
The vortex. And he hits Nolan with a Shoryuken from hell that sent Nolan flying all.
I knew it. I knew you had to been that fucking guy. I knew it.
Lord
They
Jesus.
tried to convince me otherwise. I wouldn't believe them. I believed.
The way back up into the stratosphere. So after Nolan got sent back to outer space, the next person that tried to step up was everyone's favorite useless purple punching bag, Oliver. Now,
Yeah, he should have stayed his ass at home. I ain't gonna lie.
before we observe what happens to this
Just wasting
half
space.
insect buffoon, I want y'all to hear exactly what Oliver says 20 minutes before this fight starts. Roll the clip.
Why is everyone so nervous about fighting this Thragg guy? No way he lives up to the hype.
Now, as we can see,
He is nothing but hype. That's all he is hype.
Oliver is basically representing everybody that put Thragg on Fraud Watch. He himself was not believing in all the hype.
Crazy.
Even after his
Oliver is all of you niggas that was putting Thragg on Fraud Watch. That's what you are.
You're a victim.
You're Oliver. Yeah, I'm talking to you, not you. Stop, not you, him. Yeah, you nigga. You're on Fraud Watch. Yeah, you're Oliver, buddy. Yeah, you are Oliver, nigga. Yeah.
dad straight up told him, however strong you think you are, Thragg is stronger. But Oliver, being a hard-headed ass nigga and not listening to any of the warnings about Thragg, ended up being on the receiving end of one of the most brutal scenes in the series. Oliver flew in to punch Thragg, but Thragg stops him with one hand. Then he crushes Oliver's hand and grabs him by the arm when he tried to get away. And you can see it in Oliver's face when he finally realized that he fucked up. And he should have listened to his pops the whole time. But it was all too late for him. Thragg backhands Oliver so
Where the ambulance? Why the man body still right there? Supposed to be laying there. Damn ambulance.
The whole chin is gone. His whole mouth is gone. It's over. You won't be able to eat forever.
Lord Jesus.
hard, his jaw falls off and his left arm got snatched.
Oh my God.
Ah, man. Attempted murder and tackle on the child abuse. This nigga Oliver is the most useless person on this squad. He was a waste of space. I already know some of y'all gonna be like, but CJ, what about Tech Jacket? You see,
nah, she was more useful than Oliver ever was.
Lord
At least she was like saving people. Like I think the dude with the gun, I forgot his name. The guy with the gun, she was like fixing his helmet so he can fucking breathe.
You're a victim.
Like she was actually doing stuff like a healer like supposed to be doing. Shout out to her.
At least Tech Jacket knows her role. Sit in the back,
She a healer.
shoot your Viltrumite debuff darts at him, and get your assist. She's being a good support character.
Come on.
Oliver, on the other hand, is that one brain dead DPS on your team that goes into a fight alone, dies, and asks where the team was at as he's feeding the other team. This nigga is just straight up garbage. This little nigga was talking crazy as hell, all for him to get his jaw broken off and not being able to talk again for the foreseeable future. Fucking trash can, bro. So after Oliver got humbled by Thragg, Mark tried to rush in on Thragg with a rage boost, all for Thragg to flash him with one of the craziest impact frames of all time, then stopping his punch with his hairline. Then after he showed Mark his fresh lineup that he got right before this battle,
Hey,
You're a victim.
that's insane. I ain't gonna lie. He did stop that. That's crazy. He did stop that bitch with his hairline.
Lord Jesus.
I ain't never noticed that shit, but what the fuck?
punch with his hairline. Then after he showed Mark his fresh lineup that he got right before this battle, he gives him a
That's
left and a
crazy.
mean-ass gut
Shit.
check, then grabs him by the neck
my
and
God.
hip slaps him out of Viltrum's orbit. Look at the impact frame of this man get the shit
Damn.
slapped out of him. He slapped the taste out this nigga's mouth and made his whole head do
Jesus.
a 180 before his whole body got put in reverse. Not gonna lie, gang, just for this, I'm giving him an extra attempted murder.
Yeah, his body couldn't even catch up with the impact of the hit.
Because this pimp slap was uncalled for,
that's
bro.
crazy.
So damn disrespectful. Then after he pimp slapped Mark, he flew up to my glorious King Battle Beast, rocked him in his jaw, then grabbed his
Poor guy.
jetpack, then threw him to a whole other solar system because we don't see him again for the rest of the fight. Just for
Jesus.
doing that to my goat, that's attempted murder. Because throwing Battle Beast like a toy into deep space is actually insane. So since everyone was getting dog walked by Thragg, they decided the best thing to do was to just destroy the whole planet. So Space Racer shot his infinity ray at the planet, and Mark, Nolan, and Thetis fly into the planet's core and blow it up. So after these three blew up the planet, this sent Thragg over the edge.
Man.
This man looked directly at Thetis,
I choose
locked
death.
onto his target like he was a heat-seeking missile,
Come
and
on.
ripped Thetis his
Oh,
head
shit.
clean off of his shoulders.
Oh my God, I choose death. I knew it. I knew you were that guy, Thragg.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was just straight up murder. They just didn't even get a chance to react. All he saw in his last moments was Thragg's crispy ass hairline, blitzing him at Mach speed.
Man.
Then he displayed his head to everyone, then crushed it into mush
Oh
while
my
telling
God.
everyone they're next. So after he sent Optimus Prime back to the Bayverse, he grabs Nolan with no hesitation and just starts to lay the smack down on this nigga, while Nolan couldn't do
Oh
anything.
my
He
God.
couldn't fight back at all. Thragg then low-key started hitting Nolan with the Superman Injustice 2 super move, just yo-yoing his body with
Jesus.
punches. Then Mark came in to try to help out, but he gets punched in the throat and he can't breathe anymore. So Nolan tried to attack, but he
Reverse
gets his
jumping.
wrist
Oh
shattered.
my
Then
God.
when Mark saw Thragg flying towards him, his fight or flight senses kicked in. Because Mark hit the jets and just tried to skedaddle.
Look at this shit.
You're a victim.
He is terrified. Nigga is pissing his pants right now in space.
Chasing him and he was on his ass. Look at
On
the
your
expression
bumper.
on Mark's face right here. This is the
On
face
your
of a
bumper.
man who is terrified and is running from death itself. So Thragg grabs Mark and starts giving him ferocious back shots.
Oh my,
Then
hey, pause. Ugh, come on, man.
after he finished giving
Lord
Mark back
Jesus.
shots, he had him hoisted up and he was about to end this man's existence right here. But Nolan comes in and saves Mark at the last second. So after Mark got saved, Mark asked, "Dad, how do we beat him?" And Nolan looked back at his son and said, "Son, we're cooked."
Oh my God. Yeah, I thought it was over. I thought it was
Lord
over.
have mercy. Thragg gave Nolan the Viltrumite special technique. That is just flat out attempted.
Yeah, that when they do that, it's over, huh? Like, what y'all think? Like, I so far, I think that supports my theory too. When they hit you with those with yank, like I think you're done. I think I want to say you're damn near done or done.
You're a victim.
You're either damn near done or you're done.
Murder. Then Thragg grabbed Mark by the neck again and gave him a headbutt
Oh my
that was
God.
probably
CT.
heard around the cosmos. Then he started to squeeze his
Oh my
head,
God.
and he was going to
Oh my
crush
God.
Mark's head just like he did to Thetis. But at the last second, Thragg decides to stop because he realized that too much Viltrumite blood has
Already
been
been
spilled.
shit.
So he lets Mark off the hook and leaves him for dead in space with his
Man.
father and his brother. This man Thragg shut those fraud allegations up real quick.
Real quick, had you niggas quiet.
He just straight up wiped the floor with everyone. Omni-Man got left with his guts hanging out. Mark got put into another coma, and Oliver had to get put in a Bacta tank with a new shiny mechanical jaw and a prosthetic arm to go with it.
Crazy. Sick. Bodies after bodies after bodies.
Exhibit C. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have reached our third and final exhibit. Exhibit C, PTSD and holding Earth hostage. Now, after Thragg put belt to ass to the coalition and left the whole family for dead in space, Mark thought they were going to go to Earth and destroy everything. So when Mark finally recovered from the beating that Thragg gave him, it is revealed that Mark got his ass beat so bad, he got PTSD. But not just your regular PTSD. This nigga Mark got specifically post-thragmatic stress disorder.
Ooh, that's tough. Thrasmatic?
You're a victim.
That's tough.
Don't lie, I think we haven't seen a case of PTSD this severe since Slade did this
And
shit.
Robin. Yeah, okay. See, I was thinking the same shit.
Lord Jesus.
Nah, that PTSD when Robin, Slade was dead and still had Robin out of his fucking mind.
The Robin. Because Mark was tweaking out so hard, he was seeing things just
that's
like
facts.
Robin was. So let's go through some of the examples real quick of how severe this actually was. Example 1. Mark finally comes back home to see his mother for the first time after the war. So this was supposed to be a heartwarming moment, but it goes south real quick. While Mark was talking to his mom, he looked away for like 1 second. And when he turned around again, he sees Debbie getting choked out by Thragg. And Thragg tells him, "This is the smallest repayment for what you did." And rips Debbie's head clean.
I ain't gonna lie, I thought it was real.
You're a victim.
I was like, no, not my baby Debbie. No.
I beg your pardon. I beg your pardon.
No, I thought it was over.
I'm not gonna lie, this shit got me for a quick second. Cause this happened so fast it felt like a jump scare. Bro really thought for a second that he saw his mother get her head ripped off before he finally snapped back into reality. But this was only his first post-thragmatic stress disorder episode, because there were more to come. Example 2, Mark and Eve were having a very important conversation about how life's been for her since Mark left. And she was about to give him the whole lore dump of what all happened when he left. So right before she was about to tell Mark that she was pregnant, she gets her head snatched by Thragg. And Thragg starts to hold her up above Mark and tells him, "You took away what I loved. Now I'm taking what you love, little nigga." So he starts to gouge her eyes out and crush her face. Then her other eyeball ends up popping out of her head before he finally kills her in front of Mark. Then throws her lifeless body right back at him. This nigga Mark was going through hell.
That's how bad he really whooped them niggas' ass.
You're a victim.
If this was real or not, Eve had to snap this man out of the genjutsu that he was stuck in because he was actually stun locked. Now, let's observe example 3. Mark is giving the debrief to Cecil about the war and was low-key about to ask him for a therapy.
Now, I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna be honest. I was hoping for this to happen. I ain't gonna lie. It didn't happen, but I was hoping for this to happen.
Now, while their conversation continued, Mark closed his eyes, and the moment he looked back up, he sees Thragg giving Cecil the Viltrumite special move. And while he had his body lifted up, he told Mark, "Just to let you know, I'm still in your head." And not
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I was cool with that one.
Not even therapy can repair the shit I did to you. Then he throws Cecil's lifeless body to the side like trash. And after this, Mark just started hyperventilating because he was having a panic attack mid-PTSD till Cecil finally calmed this nigga down and brought him back to reality. So after Mark went through like 3 post-thragmatic stress disorder episodes, Mark decided to go on a flight to clear his head.
Worst thing he could have did.
And while he was out flying, he sees Thragg again.
And he thought it was in a vision.
So Mark, thinking he's having another episode, closes his eyes and starts to think in his head, "This is not real, this nigga's not here. This is not real, this nigga's not here. This is not real, this nigga's not here." So when Mark opens up his eyes again, Thragg was still there. And he told him, yes, little nigga, we
here.
indeed are here. And
Damn.
this was when Mark finally realized that the Thragg standing in front of him was indeed the real Thragg.
deal.
So Mark starts tweaking out and begins to hit
No, sir. Stop it.
Thragg over
Stop
and
it.
over again. But Thragg just took all of this with no reaction, then palmed Mark's face and threw him back to where he started. Then Thragg told him, stop, little nigga. I didn't come here to fight. I came here to talk. So
That nigga told you what he was gonna do. Really didn't have no choice.
You're a victim.
Hey, he said this gonna be your reality, nigga.
Thragg gives this man a little smile, then tells Mark, here's how this is about to go down, little nigga.
Jeez.
You took our home, so now we're taking yours. So from this day forward, we, yes, we will be using Earth as a breeding ground to repopulate our forces and rebuild our empire. And don't worry, they've already started. Krieg done cracked like 6 of your Earth holes already. That
Yeah, I heard about bro. I heard he got like 13 baby mamas.
one-eyed motherfucker's having the time of his life right now. And Lucan is already famous. He's been hosting this show called Family Feud under an alias name, Steve Harvey or some shit.
Oh,
But
shit.
that's besides the point.
That's pretty accurate. I ain't gonna lie, that's pretty accurate.
What you need to know is this, little nigga. You're going to let us coexist with you. And if you don't, we will rip this planet in half. Also, I will need to acquire the location of your planet's best barbers. Their services will be needed. So Mark has
Oh
to...
man, I'd be terrified to be his barber. You mess up just a little bit on that line, nigga, a little bit on that edge up,
You're a victim.
nigga, you gonna get straight one of these straight to your chest. It's over. It's over. I wouldn't want to do that.
Lord Jesus.
agree because he basically has no choice. And Thragg officially takes the entire planet of Earth as hostage and turns it into a Viltrumite breeding farm.
Man, sick.
The verdict. Ladies and gentlemen, after observing all of this evidence and tallying
Run it
up
up.
this long list of charges, this is a pass with flying colors.
Run it up.
This man Thragg belongs in the elite category for menaces. He pulled off this list of charges in 3 episodes, gang. That is like a new record for
Come on.
Charles or some shit. And this
Come
is
on.
just the tip of the iceberg because the files on this man are going to continue over the years. So with that being said, hope y'all enjoyed. And until our next
Good
trial
video.
that is coming up very soon, I bid you
Yes, let's fucking go. The pain video, I've been waiting for it. I didn't think he was gonna be able to pull it off. I know YouTube weird, woo wham. You know what I'm saying? The pain video on the way, let's get it.
That being said, hope y'all enjoyed. And until our next trial that is coming up very soon, I bid y'all farewell.